Back from the dead.
Ladies and gentlemen, the countdown has just begun. Are you ready? Let's go.
Now we're back from the dead.
It was just a weird day. It was one of those weird days. And I was inspired by starting this day out to give you guys another topic to critically think about and give me your philosophical insight. Hey guys, what's up? And welcome back to my channel. But today I wanted to talk about something that I think always affects us, especially when you're spiritually growing, you're in the paranormal industry or the paranormal field. Whether you're just an investigator or you try to, cause yourself more spiritual growth for the better, I think that it's really important that you talk about more stuff outside of the realm of paranormal phenomena, because the planetary lineup, of course, is going to affect us. It's going to affect us all. So the main reason I'm doing this is because I'm going to tell you a little story what happened this morning. So it's my second day, getting a full night's sleep, back to work today. And I woke up to several odd negative messages, comments from a handful of people, which oddly doesn't happen. It only happens in waves. And I was like, there's got to be something going on, like planetary with the moon. Who knows? What is it? And so I started doing research. But first, so basically, the messages that I received were on social media, not on YouTube. People watching one video of mine, they don't know my credentials, they don't know my history. I'm not going to repeat myself in every video because my normal subscribers are gonna get bored as hell. And there's no point to repeat myself. That no, I'm not judging characters, which is what most people see when they see a movie or a television series. I'm judging production companies and the value behind them and the credibility behind them and why they're producing these paranormal shows the way they are. We already know this. There's a couple people that watched one episode of Ghost Girl Diaries and basically decided to attack me before they even had an idea what I was doing. I've been trying to prevent this because I actually had to disable comments for 2 videos on Ghost Girl Diaries, or GGD, which is the Demon House from Zach. And I did the updated video about Nick Groff getting fired. I didn't know that those 2 videos were going to be so big. They've been huge on my channel. I had to disable comments not because I was being hurt. I don't care what people have to say about me. But I was getting people fighting with each other. And that is not the kind of community that I'm going to condone. I'm not going to allow it to happen. I fund my own channel. And that's not the purpose of this. Like, the paranormal community is small. We all need to support each other. I've said that before. And I'm not going to allow people to abuse other people because someone's a Zach fan and someone's a Nick fan and they hate each other. It's silly. So I had to disable comments on those. For the most part, I have been able to subside wildfires of people coming to attack me. But you always get a couple once in a while, and it all seemed to happen today, which was watching one video and deciding to, look me up on another social network and send me a hateful message. And then they watch another episode of GGD and realize I wasn't talking about that. And then I actually ended up getting several apologies today from the same people. So 2 messages in a row, one hateful message telling me what I'm doing wrong or what I need to work on, and then the second message saying, oh, sorry, disregard the first message, never mind, you addressed it in another video, sorry about that. And some of them didn't even apologize, and it's just like, it's funny to me how people don't think I read my own comments on any of my social media, or like people think that they They put out the hateful energy to like search for me on another social network. It's actually sad on their part if you think about it. So then I had a really great, it's probably the worst comment that I've ever gotten was today, which was some guy being so explicit and inappropriate and vulgar, saying extremely inappropriate sexual things to me. I actually had to ban him from my Facebook. I went and made a police report on it. I ended up looking at his Facebook page, and the sad part is I think that he has a daughter and a child or a niece that he's fairly close with. And it's like, dude, you're, basically teaching her that men can talk to women like that, or that you condone a male talking to your niece or your daughter that way. It's like, think about that, like what kind of example you're setting. And so I was like, there's something in the air today, because it all hit at once, and that's how it usually goes. And then I get online and realize we are about to hit a Mercury in retrograde, which is a different planetary lineup. So what does that mean, and how does that affect us? Well, to be perfectly honest, it affects everybody differently, but I'm going to tell you how it affects me personally. So Mercury represents communication. It's usually relationship complications. So in my case, it could be personal, family related, or subscribers related, right? Like you guys, or my followers, my fans. Maybe I say something that's offensive or confusing, and so that's a complication with communication that gets somebody frustrated, which obviously was happening this morning with several messages that I got from different people. Every planet basically represents something else. You can look at it into astrology if you want. For example, I'm a Taurus. My star sign is Earth, obviously, and Venus. Venus is the goddess of love. Venus represents love, money, and beauty. But we're not talking about Venus, we're talking about Mercury. Mercury represents expressions of communication. So that can mean written, verbal, whatever. And they are usually seen, I believe, in Gemini and Virgo. Correct me if I'm wrong. All of the planets rule different things. So Mercury circles the sun, obviously, faster than Earth does. And when this retrograde happens, it circles the sun faster, and it almost appears to us here on Earth looking through telescopes that it's actually orbiting backwards. So that's called Mercury retrograde. It's not actually orbiting backwards. It just appears that way. It's an optical illusion, if you will. When does this start? April 9th to May 3rd, 2017. So this Sunday coming up, plus Monday is a full moon. So remember, basically from Sunday night into Tuesday night, recharge yourselves, go get a moon bath for like 10 or 15 minutes, go chill, hang out, recharge your crystals, and try to clear any negative energy that's surrounding you, which is going to be hard with the retrograde. So what does the retrograde consider, causing complications with? It can cause anxiety, it can cause depression, it can cause tiredness, it can cause you to feel like you're unrested. A lot of people call it the weeks of going to hell. A lot of people will blame the Mercury retrograde for bad things happening. A lot of stars have actually done it. I think Taylor Swift, I think Hugh Jackman has even said certain things about Mercury retrograde. It's basically a time to remember to slow down, pay attention to what's going on around you, and double check everything twice and even maybe 3 times in case you want to be precise and be exact to prevent problems with the Mercury retrograde happening. I personally believe it's learning from your past and believing in what you need to fix or change in the present. It kind of reteaches you not to race through life. Go through right now, what have you accomplished basically since the last retrograde, which is usually there's 3 retrogrades a year. And then, reanalyze yourself. What is something I need to work on or change or start something new? So here's to most of you guys saying that you want to work on doing your empathy, that you've talked to me about being an empath, starting with like yoga, doing meditation, doing clearing, spiritual cleansing, stuff like that. This is your chance to kind of try to restart something new or begin a new chapter within this retrograde. So I like to think of it as analyzing the past and trying to figure out where you want to go in the future, but most of all, what can I change right now in the present? What have I done that I appreciate? What haven't I done that I need to change? Or what is something that I need to reprioritize in my life? Things you shouldn't do, they say, as in astronomy, astrology, is don't make big plans, don't make big decisions, don't make large purchases, especially in equipment, because electronics have been known to fail more during a Mercury retrograde. Communication obviously is within Mercury, which means it becomes very important to communicate extremely clearly. Signing contracts is a bad idea. Buying a house during a retrograde is a bad idea. Signing a lease during a retrograde is a bad idea. Be careful with verbal and written agreements between people, even if they're not super major, if they're just a friend. There can be a ton of miscommunications. There can be bizarre arguments happening between you and your coworkers, you and your boss, or your family. A lot of computer crashes. In fact, I don't know if you guys remember, there's been a couple times in the past I've talked about my Mac crashes. Sometimes it's been during the Mercury retrograde. In fact, a majority of the time when I have Mac problems is during the retrograde. Is it a coincidence? I know I'm not the only one. There can be travel delays. You can feel like you get hermit syndrome because you don't want to deal with other people because it seems like people are in a weird funk, in a weird attitude. Another strange thing that's happening right now, not just with Mercury, but I believe there's several other planets that are in retrograde as well, but you need to look it up because I'm just talking about the Mercury solo retrograde right now. But when multiple planets are in retrograde, that can cause other problems. This is usually when the karmatic shit that you are owed to can hit the fan. So if you have any karma that goes around, comes around, you can probably expect it to happen right about now. It's kind of a moving in spiritually, re-examining your life path, what needs work, tie up the loose ends, make a positive change in your life, or fix something that you've been procrastinating on for a while. Don't take things personal by what people say or do because probably the retrograde. It affects us, especially when we're in this industry of paranormal. Of course it's going to affect us. And if you think it doesn't, why are you even believing in the afterlife? Everything, planetary involvement, the movement of the sun, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Earth, whatever, everything in together, how it functions, light years, why you're here in this particular spot at this exact moment. There's a reason for it. All of us are here for a purpose. My purpose is separate of yours. You can't follow my path. I can't follow your path. So this is one of those times where you need to believe that of course it's going to affect you, but you have to give it a positive outcome of what's going on and why it's going on around you. And make sure your communication is so clear. Number one thing is to make sure that you finish everything and anything that you start during this retrograde. So usually it's about 25 days long, give or take. For some reason when I'm dealing with the retrograde, I always notice it starts to affect a few days prior. So obviously Sunday is when the retrograde is supposed to take place, but I'm already starting to get the miscommunication messages from other people. This has happened in the past on YouTube, so that's why I know it's a retrograde. I always get the worst negative comments around the retrograde, and it's never, I don't care if people want to debate. I don't care if people want to have philosophical insight on paranormal phenomena from the other side and discuss it. I don't care if people don't have the same visions, of the paranormal. That isn't the point. What I don't like is when people bash each other or when they bash me for no reason and they don't have anything to say other than really nasty, ugly, dark, negative things. That's when I don't want you to be a part of my community because that's not what I'm building here. We are all a community and we're friends, and that's what I'm trying to build. So yeah, the retrograde's already in effect for me. Can you blame everything on the retrograde? No, you can't. I mean, I'm only saying that I have seen it affect me because I seriously have, guys, in the past with YouTube, with people communicating on YouTube. I get the most haterade coming around when the retrograde happens. And they usually don't even have anything good to say. Most of the time it's people that don't even know about the paranormal. They don't understand anything about the paranormal, so they shouldn't even be watching my video. Retrogrades are when I get a lot of gaudy people that come at me that think I don't believe in God or think that I don't believe in angels or heaven, and they want to hit me with the Bible thumper and say, you need to practice Jesus. I get that a lot during the retrograde, so I'm already prepared for it. So nobody can catch me off guard this time. But in the meantime, remember the full moon is also on Monday night officially. So get your crystals for if you're protecting your house using that. Or if you need to clear away any negative energy or communication problems that's going on, go sit out in the moon. I've told you guys that. We are paranormal people. We are of the night. That sounds really cool. I wish I sounded that cool every day. So make sure that you take care of yourself. And seriously, one of those ways is by sitting in the moon. It is so cleansing and healing. It's not even funny, guys. Speaking of that, did you see my awesome, gigantic crystal lamp? Please take care of yourself as an investigator. Spirituality, you know, control and comfort and growth and protection is so important in this industry. Make sure that you are taking care of yourself properly, because we are interacting with a dimension or dimensions that really don't exist to our eyes. You know, we can't step in it completely. They come to ours. So just remember, it's really important to take care of yourself spiritually. Meditation, yoga, drink lots of water, hydrate yourself, moon baths, protect yourself with crystals. St. Michael's the shit. I always say he's my homeboy. Prioritize yourself if you're staying in this industry. Make sure you give my video a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Always leave me good comments below because I love hearing from you guys. Make sure that you follow me on social media. Be careful for the retrograde. Make sure that you're communicating properly. That's the important thing here. Follow me on social media. Stay safe for the next 25 days. I'll catch you guys next time.
Hell yeah.
We're back from the dead. Back from the dead. Back from the dead.